Okay, take number 3. Okay, as the title says, do you need a 12-volt compressor style refrigerator when you're going camping? And, well, the short answer is, kind of depends. Depends on what you're doing. If you're just going out camping for a weekend and you're just going off maybe to a campground or wherever you're doing and you just need to keep your stuff cold, I really wouldn't waste my money necessarily on a 12-volt compressor refrigerator. A cooler, like your standard Igloo cooler, will work just fine for a weekend. You can actually keep crap cold as long as you got access to ice for a week. I've kept meat cold and good for an entire week worth of camping before. You got to get ice and you got to do the dance of what's frozen versus what's not frozen. You got to pack things a little bit differently, but it's absolutely possible it can be done without an issue. But if you're just going for a weekend, I really wouldn't waste my money, to be honest with you. A cooler will work just fine. Any cooler will work just fine. Don't even waste your money on the Yetis and all the other ones. But why did I waste? Well, not waste, but spend my money on a 12-volt compressor freezer? Is because where it comes into effect is if you're on a lake or you like to go hunting, you're a sportsman. The nice part about this is this one is a dual zone, dual temperature, so it's a refrigerator. It can be a refrigerator and a freezer at the same time. There's a divider in the center of it, but they make ones that is just a unit, a solid unit, and it is either a freezer or a refrigerator. Now, where it comes in, like I was saying, is if you're a sportsman, is if you go on a weekend trip and you're going fishing, you've got all kinds of, you want to take some of this fish home because you're not going to be able to eat it all. Well, you can wrap it up in your freezer stuff, throw it in here, and you can freeze it and take it home. That's one of the reasons why I wanted this, is because we were up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan a few years ago, and we were catching fish, bluegills, the size of my hand and bigger. And you can only eat so much fish in a day, and we had no way to take them home, otherwise we would have. So when we go back to the UP, we're going to change it. And now I have this to work with. So once you get into getting a compressor style fridge freezer, it turns into how are you going to power it? Okay. If you're an overlander or like to go camping and you drive a lot, you probably don't even need one of these. I call them solar generators, but they're a power pack, Jackery type product, whatever you want to say. Big lithium batteries. You can probably just plug it in to your vehicle and it should last all night, although I would check it to make sure. And then you start up and you continue on your way, whatever your journey is, and you should be fine powering this. The thing that comes to mind if you're camping for a couple days or a weekend, you're not planning on starting your vehicle, you're going to want some way to power this. This is a Rockpals 250. Word of advice is, if you were going to get one of these, buy a solar generator battery pack with a 12-volt regulated output. That is extremely important. These two do. This one does not. Because what happens is, if you run this refrigerator off of this and it's unregulated, and you'll have to check the make and model of your refrigerator, but it has a low voltage cutoff. This one is 9.6 volts basically. Basically you can use half of this battery, okay? And it'll shut off and it will not run. These two and a few other ones, Blue Eddy, there's a bunch of different ones on the market. They do have a 12-volt regulated output. I can run this refrigerator off this little Jackery 160 all the way from 100% to 0, and it will still run a constant 13 point something volts. That's very important because you don't want your refrigerator shutting off in the middle of the night using one of these. So you're going to go for a week. Well, now you have to, it kind of snowballs in a hurry. Well, now you have to find a way to keep these charged. Well, how are you going to do that? Quick answer is solar panels. This is a 120 watt solar panel. If you're going to do this, I recommend buying a better one than one of these that I have, because it does not work the best. It really doesn't. But it will get you going. I mean, it costs a little bit of money to get into this for a week, you know, for like a week-long trip or a weekend trip, because you have to power these some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, this is what you need if you're going to get into this and, you know, stay for a duration of time. So, it's just a short little video of what you're going to get into and what you're probably going to need and what you need to think about if you're going to operate one of these refrigerator freezers. So, until next time, this is the My Venture channel. You guys take care.